Hello everyone, Derek Floyd here, IK Multimedia. Welcome to another edition of D-Flow's Audio Toolbox. This is the segment where I interview special guests who just happen to use IK Multimedia tools to stay creative in their workflow. And as always, if you love the content you see here, please hit us with a like or subscribe for the channel. This lets us get the most updated content to you as soon as it's available. And as always, our segment is brought to you by IK Multimedia and Leeward Microphones. Now, you guys know it's always about the free stuff. I know. You guys have come to see me because you love me, but really, it's about the free stuff. And today, we've got a doozy for you because it's a brand new product that no one's even really checked out yet. Just came out. It's called Mixbox. That's right. I am giving away a copy of our brand new T-Rex plugin called Mixbox. 70 effects all put together in 500 series style that you can use on any track you want and any DAW you want. This is going to blow your mind. It comes with some of the products from Sample Tank, from Amplitude, from T-Rex. This is probably one of our best. I'm loving it so far. So I'm giving it away today just because I'm feeling generous. How about that? I'm feeling generous. There you go. Now, of course, I have to have a special guest though, right? Someone to talk to, someone to kind of make me feel better. Now, today's special guest is a guy that's been grinding it out as an artist in LA for 16 years. He has a style that's kind of like a cross between soul and R&B and funk all mixed together. And he's been jamming it out for quite a while, winning tons of awards, doing it the indie style. Not a big label, but rocking it out. And he's also been using our products on his brand new podcast called Deeper Grooves. We'll talk about that shortly too. But if you want to hear some brand new funk, if you want to hear how it really sounds with a great band, this is going to be a guy you want to talk to. And he's going to talk to us about how he uses a product called iRig Mic Studio. His name is Cliff Beach. Cliff, you there, buddy?
Yes, Derek, I'm here. Thanks for having me.
What's good, brother? How you been, man?
Oh, man, I can't complain. In sunny Los Angeles, so it's beautiful over here. Just got done doing a walk and meditation and all that stuff, getting my mind right for this. So very excited to be here with IK Multimedia today.
That's a beautiful thing, man. You staying safe, washing hands, get away from this COVID madness?
Oh, yeah. Don't let the corona get on you. That's what I always say. But yeah, you got to mask up. You got to strap up like we always do. But yeah, it's just it's interesting. You know, they talk about this versus the Spanish flu that was in 1918. And I looked at an LA Times article from 100 years ago, and they're saying the exact same stuff. Like, if you're coughing, don't get around people, coughing to your elbow. Wear a mask, that kind of stuff. So it's like, wow, we really have regressed in a way. but yeah, those hygiene things, whatever your grandma told you, you got to do that.
So grandma was right from the beginning, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah. She's not always right, but she's never wrong.
I love that answer. That's my grandma. I wasn't always right, but I'm never wrong. Don't cross me. Yes, sir. I understand. Well, man, hey, what's going on with the fires out there? If you're in LA, are you where all the wildfires? Is everybody safe out there?
Everybody is safe. They have been doing some evacuations, but not by me. I'm on the west side, so I'm in Culver City near the Sony studios. So we're getting that ocean breeze, and everything is nice over here, but we are concerned about other people, and they're doing some control fires to kind of do that. I don't know what a control fire does. I mean, or versus an out of control fire, but I know that everyone is handling it to the best of their ability, and we're used to it. Between that and the earthquakes and the mudslides, it's a little bit of Armageddon all the time. COVID just adds to that, another layer to that. But yeah, everyone is safe here. The only thing is just air quality, which we have smog anyway. So these masks that we're wearing, if you're able to get like an N95 mask, something that's filtering out most of the pollutants in the air, then you should be good.
Well, man, we are keeping our hearts and prayers for the guys that are fighting those wildfires. There's nothing we can say, but other we hope you guys are well, and we're praying blessings for you. And they're risking their lives for people. So we just, like I said, send our prayers for people that are fighting those fires and the people that have lost lives and lost property. You know, that's just a sad thing. So we just want to make sure we recognize that and we send our prayers to them. So. Well, let's get cracking on the interview with you. We are so glad you took a few minutes to talk to us. You know, you're a busy guy out there in LA, you're out there grinding it out. Speaking of grinding out, you've been in the LA scene trying to get it done for like 16 years at least, right? So how would you classify like your sound? What's the Cliff Beach sound?
Oh, it's a very interesting question. So it's definitely progressed. When I started in 2003 out in LA, I had a band called the Moon Crickets. It was very funk rock. So Lenny Kravitz meets Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then as I progressed, did some more contemporary things. Really in the last couple of years, getting into more vintage sounds. So doing a lot of analog gear, recording to tape, things like that, and seeing a lot of a lot of throwback sounds and people liking those vintage things. I also love the vintage instruments, so I play a Mark II Rhodes, and I'm endorsed by Nord, so I use a lot of the sounds on there with Wurlitzer and stuff like that. And now with IK Multimedia using your microphones, but yeah, I mean my sound I classify it as new funk. So you look at something like an Uptown Funk that's like very contemporary, and then even like vintage stuff like Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, kind of in between all of those, but very much into the songwriting process, my influences, which we'll talk about, and then yeah, it just everyone has their unique kind of X factor, just like fingerprints. No two are alike. No two people are alike. The information, and we only have so many notes, but we're all filtering it through us. So like when it comes out of my filter, it's going to sound like me, and when it comes out of your filter, it's going to sound like you. I think if anything, what I try to champion in my music is individuality. I think there's a lot of ubiquity now versus uniqueness, and I'm trying to bring more uniqueness back at the time of like, a Stevie Wonder doing songs in the key of life, that kind of thing, where it's like everyone is allowed to sound different, and the labels, allowed them to have that progression to figure out their sound.
I love it. I love it. And you speak of Stevie Wonder, so I would challenge or maybe ask the question: who are some of your major musical influences that you draw inspiration from?
Sure. I mean, Stevie's definitely one of my top influences as a keyboard player, as a songwriter, as a singer. I think because he's blind, he sees things, the world differently, and thus he's able to sing differently than anyone else. I think technically he may in many ways sing technically wrong, but he's able to do it because he doesn't see those limitations. So Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, all the Motown stuff, but James Brown, I mean, just sheer showmanship, sweat equity into it, business acumen, especially with having like a lower level of education, I think maybe to eighth grade or less. If you ever want to see a funny clip, you got to watch him and Little Richard on Wheel of Fortune in the 80s. Everyone is like one
What?
person, but they're like lumped together as a duo, and then
Oh
they're just like
no.
answering. Well, I think James Brown spins and Little Richard like gives the it's like tea, I want tea or whatever, and they're like, I don't know, it's pretty funny. They're going up against Weird Al. Weird Al is just like a Mensa killing it over there, and then against these two, it's a funny clip to watch. But yeah, James, I love his Love Power Peace album in the '70s. I think when he had Catfish Collins and Bootsy Collins, I think that was like the best. And of course, speaking of Collins, Bootsy Collins, P Funk, George Clinton, all of those are really
Come on now.
influences. But
The
but
greats.
then
The
get
greats.
yeah. So I think that's like a great era of music, but I think there's still great people out there now. If you look at Spotify and some of the funk playlists, you have people like Wolfpack, who are like the first indie band to headline Madison Square Garden. I mean, there are people still doing it, still bringing funk, still bringing soul, R&B, with live instruments, organic, to the table. Groups like Snarky Puppy that are just like showing the sheer musicianship of that. And so I like all of those elements. Tons of neo soul artists. I've been watching a lot of the verses. So Erica Badu and Jill
Yeah.
Scott and that kind of stuff. All those are influences as well. The Roots and John Legend, that album they did together a couple years ago that won a Grammy, that was amazing. So I try to not be pigeonholed into necessarily one thing. I think that soul permeates all styles of music, whether you do country or jazz or rock. I think soul is kind of like the foundation of that, from the blues and beyond. And I think getting back to those roots, the American root, it stems from like many branches, but it's the same American root, that soul root.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So then, as an artist, then being there's so much out there to break through the pack. I mean, because there's so many artists already trying to make music, so many different colors, so many different shades. How important do you think it is to actually take what you do and take it live, take a live show?
Well, I think that's like the do or die situation. That's where the proof is in the pudding. I think one of the hard things about technology is having things like auto tune, and I've seen people that work on Daddy's Rich label, where everyone thinks they can sing, everyone thinks they can make albums. And so it just adds more white noise and more complexity to the situation. And the barriers are much lower with digital music versus having these gatekeepers in the past. So I think that's one thing. But as far as having a live show, I think every performer should be able to perform live. So for me, when I go to a show, if you can't play that record live, then to me it diminishes like how good that record actually is. Like it's a lot of studio magic, a lot of tips and tricks, but can you strip down a song and just you and a guitar sing to me and it has a good melody and good lyrics? That's what I'm always looking for. It's like the reason why oral tradition and songs have passed down for so long is because they're memorable. And if it's just about a beat or just about an effect or something like that, those are all good. That's icing, but it can't be the cake.
Good, good. I mean, and see, you're known for putting on a great show. You write some great songs, you're a great artist, but you're known for giving a great show, and that's important. As you grow your fan base, and unfortunately with COVID-19 just stripping away the entertainment industry, how are artists like yourself staying connected to the fans if you can't go out and play a show? What's the connection?
Right. We're definitely doing stuff like this. So everything has pushed into social media and online. So those tools are available. I'm glad that we're in 2020 versus 1920 as far as doing that. It would be a little more difficult. But for me, I mean, we were profiled on CNN showing some of my Live at 5 content that I've been doing on Facebook Live. And so what's cool about that is I love Facebook Watch. You're able to, in real time, when you broadcast, people can share and then watch with other people as they're doing it. So you can broadcast to a bigger network of your friends and their friends that way. But it's very easy using just an iPhone or your computer, logging in there. So I've done quite a bit of those. I actually connected with IK Multimedia as well and received my iRig mic studio because I did something with Music Pro. So if you're not familiar with Music Pro is an insurance company for musicians. And so I insure my instruments through them. They were doing this Music Pro Cafe with a ton of different sponsors, IK being one of them. And so through Zoom and all the other platforms, we simulcast a show to give artists an opportunity to not only be able to perform, but to actually have a paid opportunity. They paid us, and then we received equipment and different things on software on top of that. So definitely doing a lot of that during this time just to kind of stay connected and engaged. But all of those soft skills that you have, just following up with people, everyone that messages me on social media at Cliff Beach Music, I answer all of those messages and get back to people and DMs and comment on their stuff. And it's really great. It's really great. We released a vinyl not too recently, and having people from other countries saying like, hey, we're playing this, or like we're putting it on our playlist, or we're doing this and that. It's really, really cool. And then, yeah, definitely using the tools like Spotify and their artist platform to really engage with the artists, let them know when we have digital shows. So they're constantly updating that now so that you can promote that bands in town. You can promote that you have live events and streaming and things like that, getting a bigger audience that way as well. So I think it's just we're all learning. We're all waiting for the world to reopen, but the people that are still, forging ahead will be exponentially that much farther than people that got stuck in the mud. So never let something stop you or defeat you. You can just do your best for that moment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, and with that in mind, I understand that you now started a podcast as well that you're doing. It's called Deeper Grooves, I think. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's exciting. I've always wanted to do a podcast. And so I've been following a guy by the name of Tim Ferriss for a long time. And he's always figuring out life hacks and things you should do. But he tells a really cool story about how he was starting writing a book and he wanted to promote it on podcasts. And so he went, instead of paying like $1,000 to go to a conference, he just sat in like the blogger lounge where like bloggers and podcasters would go to kind of relax and have drinks. And so he went there for free and then just started chatting up with people. And then eventually he started his own podcast after that. But he encourages everyone to write a book and everyone to write a podcast or do a podcast. And so, and this year I decided during COVID to try it out. There's a platform called Anchor, which makes it very easy to be able to push out podcasts to all of the streaming platforms for free. And so I really wanted to figure out what a cool concept would be. And I tried to do a podcast before talking about music that I liked, but I didn't like the aspect of me just talking to like an audience. I wanted to have more conversations. And so I built a platform where musicians can come talk to another musicians about the process and their journey, similar to Inside the Actor Studio, but for music. And so we
Nice.
have done, yeah. So I use IK Multimedia, the microphone, to do the podcasting and record. And it's cool because I've had different guests, Grammy winners. We've talked with Mike Clark from the Headhunters, who's telling us about working with Herbie Hancock. We've talked with John Bryant, who wrote "I Can't Stand the Rain," married to Ann Peebles. So it connects me and it gets me to talk to people. I've learned that when you ask people for information or to do interviews or to talk about themselves, they're much quicker to say yes than if you're coming with them. We're like, hey, listen to my stuff, or can you do something for me? It's nice to be able to create
Sure.
a platform where they can do it. And the heavy on the content side is their story. But I believe everyone has a story and it should be told. Sometimes we're talking about new artists that are up and coming. Sometimes we're talking to industry veterans and everything in between. But it's less about me and more about the platform being able to amplify these great stories, that they may not be necessarily household names, but very well respected in their different genres. And we definitely talk to people on both the musicianship side, the engineering side. So we try to get a lot about the process. And so we've done, season one is already released. We're into season two now. We're already booking out for season three. So it's just a very exciting
Nice.
time to, again, try new things, see what sticks. We don't have all the answers. We've definitely elevated our sound by having better microphones than, my initial Apple
Sure.
headphones. So,
Sure.
yeah, you learn
Yeah.
you learn quite quickly to be humbled and also to understand that, versus music with any kind of audio, but speaking specifically, um,
Yeah.
it's intense. People are not going to tune in for 30, 45, 60 minutes if the audio is not good.
It's crap. Yeah, they're not gonna listen. They're gonna be like, "Oh, this guy sucks." They turn it off. Yeah, you're gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been using the iRig Mic Studio, which is our product we're talking about today, for your program for a while. What was it about this mic that fit your needs?
Well, the really cool thing about it is that it comes with everything that you need. The stand is super sturdy, but it comes with all the cables that you need to be able to use it either for your computer or for your phone. So sometimes I'm doing a lot of this stuff on the go. During the lockdown, I was mostly at home, but now since they released that and we're able to move about, sometimes I'm out and about when I'm doing stuff. Sometimes I'm at a different location other than home. And so I want to take a smaller setup with me. Sometimes I'm on vacation or what have you, and I'm able to do it. So I use it primarily on my iPhone. It works very well with iOS. They've really worked out the latency issues. The headphones are great. Again, it's super sturdy. So I've worked with other microphones in the past, and they weren't as sturdy, so they would move around. You would hear like excess background noise. The place of where you put the headphones and things were like in odd places that didn't necessarily work for me. And so I found this to be also very clear. So I've tested out different microphones, and different microphones work differently, I guess, for different voices. So depending on your timbre of voice, one might work better, but I find this one is the one that's been the most clear. Not muffled. My editor likes it because it makes it very easy for him because he's not like having to clean up stuff in post. Tim Hall from 1192 Studios. And so, so far it's been really good for me. I also use the app that comes with it, the iRig recorder. And so it's cool because all of it's like really plug and play. So that's what I like about it the most. It's like even if you're a novice, it's like, can you turn the phone on? Can you plug this in? And then you're pretty much up and ready to go. I like how the settings, the gain settings and the headphone settings are in the front, very easy to use, and turn knobs that are facing you and you're not looking for it. Because I had one that was like in the back, and then when I would have to adjust it, it made like a audible sound when you were adjusting the levels. And so this doesn't do any of that. So I've been very happy with it so far and continuing to use it with the podcast.
Well, why do you think it's important to have that flexibility to be able to go from your phone to your computer either way? Because I mean, all microphones don't do that, and that's a great point for iRig Mic Studio, right?
No, that is a really good point, and I do use it for both. So sometimes when I'm recording multi-tracking, I'll use GarageBand or Logic, and I do it on my Mac. And again, it's been really good at being able to be able to switch it simultaneously. Because sometimes when I'm recording the podcast, I'll record like one portion of it on my phone, but then I'll record my intros, outros, put all the bump and everything in the computer. So it's nice to be able to go back and forth, and I feel that it allows you to do that in a way where it sounds compatible depending when you're switching between the iOS and on the phone versus the computer. So I do like that aspect, and I think that many people, I mean, we're all using multiple devices anyway, and so sometimes you have your phone but you don't have the mic, but then you can use the app.
Hmm.
Or sometimes you have
Hmm.
the mic and the phone, you can use them together. Or sometimes you want to unbundle it and use it with a different DAW on your computer, and you have all of those options and stuff. So yeah, it's cool. And I would like to just say having all the cables is a lifesaver, because I've done other things, like I ordered a printer and you get to it and you like spend an hour setting it up and putting the software, and then it's like, oh yeah, it doesn't come with the cable you need to print. So then
Oh,
you're like, so
yeah.
that's annoying. So it's like, it's nice
Yeah,
that
yeah.
everything that you need in there, they know, you may be on the Android, not an iPhone, so they prepare for that. And so there's a lot of thought behind that. And you think, hey, that's a simple thing, but when you're having the stress of trying to get something done, and sometimes you don't look at it beforehand, so you just think everything's going to be there, and then it's always when you think it's going to be there, it's not there. So it's nice
It's
that
not.
everything is included
Yeah.
in there, and they're
I
not
love it.
hiding it from you.
I love that, and I think you mentioned the iRig Recorder app. There's that app, and there's Vocal Live as well, and both of those apps kind of make your phone like a portable studio, right? Like you can catch ideas right away. Have you found yourself catching things, right on the fly because you can just plug it in and go?
Yeah, definitely. And I've looked at your Easy Voice and the mic room as well, and you can switch between different microphones. So even though I have the the iRig mic studio, and that comes with like a certain kind of cardio mic, you can switch to other condenser mics and other things within the platform. So that's really cool. And then when you deep dive into it, it's very easy to export the audio from that. There's like other things that you can add in inside the app if you want to have different types of effects and whatnot. But they're very vast, and I'm still continuing to learn new things about it every time I open it up or get a chance to kind of play around with it. But for multi-tracking on the iPhone, the Vocal Live has been really good, because I had a version of like something else, maybe GarageBand or something on the phone, and I could never get it to do the multi-tracking properly. And this one with the easy setup is very easy to switch over and do multi-channel setup. So I really like that.
And you mentioned in passing the mic room. You guys don't realize that when you get the iRig Mic Studio, it comes with an application called Mic Room that lets you actually model other microphones within that microphone. So it'll give you a sound of an SM58, or I forget all the microphones that are in there, but it gives you what that song, that microphone, or the character of that microphone with the iRig Mic Studio. So it's like you get more than one microphone in the box. You get all these microphones in that setting with just that one product. So it's pretty incredible, no?
No, definitely. And I've done that in the studio where you go like down the line, microphone, 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 testing your voice. But this seamlessly just lets you switch with a swipe to get to the other microphones. And you can definitely audibly hear a change in the audio as you're switching through them. So I think that's definitely something that's nice to have, because you have one microphone that can potentially be 8 or 10 microphones. So that's cool.
And with all of us out there, like ourselves, trying to get great content, we need something that we can throw in our bag and still be sturdy, that can still make it, that we can set up pretty easily. Like you're using it right now. Show us how you're setting it up. Are you just plugging it right into your phone? What are the cables going out? What are you doing over there?
Yeah, so it is set up with the cable and my phone. I'm going to kind of adjust to see that. But the microphone is right in front of me here. I don't know if you guys can see it there. And then I just have basically the cable plugged into the lightning jack onto my Apple phone. I have an iPhone 11. But yeah, it's super easy. As soon as you plug it in, you see the LED lights here. It lights up. I can see when I'm talking that it goes green. I'm able to see it lights orange, I think, if your gain is too high and you're peaking. So yeah, it's very easy to use. Super simple. Like I said, I always love a plug and play system. So it's like out of the box, in a few seconds, you're up and ready to go.
That's the best thing, man. Super easy. Like we talk about a lot of my other guests. Creativity needs to come and be like right there. I don't want to think about it. When creativity hits, I just want to go, boom, I'm ready to go. So just plug it in the microphone and it lights up. I'm ready to go. That's a beautiful thing. Now I really appreciate you kind of talking through what it's done for you. And, for all the people that are out there, iRig My Studio, be looking for it's available now. This is one of those that's a must-have if you're doing any kind of podcasting or content creation at home. It's just an easy solution that just makes sense. And like he said, all the cables come in the box, the applications that are there. It's just a winner, right? And for people that have that are singing voice or podcast voice, it works for both, right, Cliff?
No, yeah, it definitely works for both. And again, I think the beauty of it is that it's for all levels. So if you're a novice, you can plug and play, start playing around with the app and the tools to be able to use it. If you're further up the road, I've seen people that have played with many things for many different years, and it records instruments as well. So acoustic guitar, things like that, it will pick up really nicely and go into your recording system. So I think if you want something that's super portable and flexible to fit a variety of different needs, and I think it's definitely a go-to for me and definitely for others as well.
Well, you heard it from here first. The man, Cliff Beach, the funk master in LA, has been grinding it out, is using iRig My Studio for his podcast. If you guys out there are starting your own, take a look at the iRig My Studio. I bet you'll be happy with it. But I want to say, number one, say thank you to Cliff for taking the time to check us out and talk to the subscribers out there. And Cliff, if they want to get a hold of you or check out some of your new music, because we all know you're the funk master, how do they find you? Where do they get a hold of you at?
You can find me on social media at Cliff Beach Music. You can also find me at cliffbeachmusic.com. That'll take you into everything that you need to know about me. It also links into my label, which is California Soul Music, californiasoulmusic.com. So you can find me in any of those places. You can also find us online, Spotify, all the streaming services under Cliff Beach. Right now on Spotify, we have a song Confident that has almost 400,000 streams. So definitely go check that out if you're online. But you can hear that pretty much everywhere, YouTube, Apple Music. Anywhere you can hear music, you can find us under Cliff Beach or Cliff Beach Music.
Nice. And do you have any new projects we should be looking for? Anything we should be checking out coming up soon? Give us the preview.
Yes, very, very excited. We're gearing up to release a new EP, going a little more contemporary, hip-hop influence. So working with a variety of beat makers, adding my soulful funk to that in a 2020 lens. We'll be dropping a new single very, very soon called Black Moses, very timely about BLM and social matters, political matters that are happening out there. I think that music always can be a vehicle for change, and very excited to be able to put this content out there so people can hear the many sides of me. This is probably my most autobiographical work. It's an album that has an acronym, and the acronym basically stands for "We're all just a kid from somewhere." So no matter where you're from is not where you're going to always be. Where you start is not where you're going to end up, but it's about living your life with intention and purpose. And I think, we're going to get there. Good music will always prevail. Over COVID and everything else, good music will prevail. And good products.
Amen to that. Well, I sure do appreciate you stopping by and sharing your wisdom with us, man. We are excited to see your new music come out the gate. And we thank you for taking a look at the iRig My Studio with us. We know you love it. We know you use it. And we just appreciate you, man. We hope that you continued success out there in LA. And we hope to see you nationally here soon. So we'll be looking for you. Again, thanks for stopping by, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you to my team, Artist Relations, for connecting us. And I hope to get back at you sometime soon with more music and more products.
You got it, man. And all you guys out there, I know you are so stoked because this was not only a great interview, but you're waiting for the free stuff. I know, of course, free stuff, right? That's what we do. So if you hung out to the end, you not only heard about a great artist, but you know about a great microphone, but now you might even get a killer brand new product that just came out. We're talking about T-Rack's Mix Box. That's right. Everybody's been checking it out on our website, seeing, I got to get this new thing. Well, I'm giving away a copy today. I'm feeling good about it. So let's see if you guys are paying attention, because this is going to be a hard one. I'm going to see if you're paying attention. I want you guys to give me three. Give me three of Cliff's influences that he talked about that he has been absorbing to create his music, to have his style. Three influences he named, because he named quite a few. If you can give me three in the chat right now, pop them in right away. Three in the chat then I'm giving away T-Rex Mix Box. You are going to be the winner. How's that? Pretty easy if you were paying attention. But yo, this is worth it. So Cliff was awesome. 3 of his main influences in the box, and you could be winning T-Rex Mix Box. You guys ready? Were you paying attention? Let's see if you have what it takes. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon. Wash your hands. Let's see who's winning Mix Box today. Take care, y'all. See you next time.